11 discoveries of the most incredible recent archaeology finds. Hey guys, welcome to exciting archaeological news. Archaeological discoveries are fascinating because they provide additional information about the lifestyles of ancient humans. Every finding adds to our understanding of the ancient past, leaving us wanting more. And who knows how much there could be out there, given the incredible accomplishment of the ancient civilizations. Several of the discoveries may be for the sake of curiosity, but others may hold the key to humanity's destiny. Here are the 11 most incredible recent discoveries that archaeologists find. However, research is still ongoing. If you're new here, click the subscribe button and then the bell icon to get instant notifications of new videos. Let's start the video. 11. Ancient Sanctuary. Archaeologists discovered what appears to be an ancient sanctuary's remain in the San Casciano de Bagni community in Tuscany, Italy. Both the Etruscans and the Romans might have utilized it. The Etruscans were a prosperous people that lived in Italy throughout the first millennium BC, but the Romans eventually conquered their towns, land, and culture. A crew discovered more than 24 bronze statues from 2,000 years ago. 5,000 coins composed of gold, silver, or bronze were also found by archaeologists, along with the bronze engravings of various human parts and organs. At least some statues show deities, such as Apollo, a sun god revered by Greeks and Romans, and Hygeia, a goddess of healing. Inscriptions in Roman and Etruscan were carved on some of the statues. 10. Baffling stone carvings. Many mysterious discoveries have been made in Jerusalem, but now some strange carvings discovered during an excavation beneath the city have added to the list. They are unknown to archaeologists. A complex of rooms dug into the bedrock of one of the city's earliest neighborhoods have been discovered by Israeli excavators. They discovered 3 V-shaped cuts into the limestone floor, about 2 inches deep in the complex of rooms. There were no other hints besides these strange carvings. People are still determining the purpose or identity of the carvings. At the same time, it could be an accident. Symbols carved deeply into the floor are rarely done haphazardly. The carvings are thought to be at least 3,000 years old. The markings are strange and intriguing. I've never seen anything like them, according to one of the dig's directors, Eli Shukran. What do you make of these symbols, about which we know so little that not even a theory can be proposed? 9. Roman Era Mausoleum in France. Local archaeologists believe they've uncovered the remains of a mausoleum built by a Roman colony in the 1st century AD, but there is nothing remaining of the buildings they excavated 2,000 years ago. Under several inches of mud and grass, the ruins were discovered, along with some shattered stones and crumbling lime mortar. To make sense of what they've found, archaeologists are still working, but it might be one of France's most significant Roman-era discoveries. They even discovered pieces of a frozen depiction of Poseidon, the Greek deity of the sea. Everything discovered thus far indicates the complex being a mausoleum, tomb, or possibly even a family burial for wealthy Romans remote from the capital, where they worshiped Triton, their version of Poseidon. We need a little more time to determine who was laid to rest in this plot and what part they might have played in the Roman-occupied France. 8. 9,000-year-old ritual shrine. Let's head to Jordan, where archaeologists claim to have discovered a 9,000-year-old ritual temple in the desert. Joint Jordanian and French archaeologists discovered a remote Neolithic site outside Amman. It is previously known to archaeologists due to the presence of desert kites, a type of ancient hunting trap in the region based on the proximity of the desert. The shrine was probably used to honor the gods for a good hunt. A heart-shaped altar and 2 carved standing stones flank the shrine. Anthropomorphic sculptures and drawings of a desert kite seashells were likely dispersed there for ritual or symbolic purposes. In this section of the world, no ancient shrine has ever been discovered in such pristine shape. This could provide fresh insight into the wandering hunters' religious practices and artistic output. 7. Fierce Skull. A massive, mysterious skull was discovered on a beach in San Francisco in 2015. What kind of enormous sea monster it might be is a mystery to researchers, who are scratching their heads. With its enormous canine teeth, it almost looks like a dog. Nonetheless, it was considered longer than 10 feet and taller than 8 feet. That would be a huge dog. so this sounds far-fetched. What makes this creature so strange is that its estimated length is 40 to 50 feet based on the size of its skull. The question is whether this is a skull. It resembles a deep-sea anglerfish, despite widespread skepticism. Reports of this peculiar phenomenon have been scant. According to researcher Anthony Moore, this was not a prehistoric skull that washed up on shore, but rather a creature that died within the previous 2 years of its discovery. The skull does not fit with anything that is now accepted by science. Hence, there is no conclusive confirmation as to where it came from. It has yet to wash up subsequently, although it appears to have gigantic canine teeth. If this were the sole sighting of its kind, it would be difficult to determine whether or not it was a hoax or a real-life monster living somewhere beneath the seas. 6. Dead Sea Scroll in the Cave of Horror. In the 1960s, the remains of 40 Jewish men, women, and children were originally discovered in the Cave of Terror in Israel. Excavators must have been too terrified to report anything further until March 2021, when pieces of a Dead Sea Scroll were discovered in the same Cave of Horror. With the exception of the name of God, the majority of the writings on the scroll are in Greek letters. The biblical books of Zechariah and Nahum are supposed to be represented by these writings on the scroll. In addition to the scrolls, other recent discoveries in the cave included a mummified infant thought to be in middle childhood and a basket going back to around 8500 BC. 5. Bronze Matrix. A storm uprooted a tree at an archaeological site in Romania in 2013. Archaeologists were overjoyed to discover what was once the famous capital of Dacians, a metal matrix covered in carvings of actual and mythical animals, including giraffes, lions, bulls, elephants, and leopards, is now known as the Bronze Matrix of Sarmis Jedusa. It is a true treasure and the ideal artifact to depict the ancient Dacian Empire. It is an ancient mold used to make ornaments out of precious metal. It is about 2,000 years old, weighs around 18 pounds, and is 2 inches thick. The jeweler's hexagon is the only one ever discovered in Europe. The site of Sarmisa Jetusa, according to archaeologist Dr. Gelu Floria, was a cosmopolitan setting where aristocrats from the Dacian kingdom could shop for goods and services of the highest caliber before the Romans defeated them in the 1st century BC. The type of artwork and the fact that it was discovered in the Dacian capital demonstrates how well connected the Dacians were to the rest of the Mediterranean and highlights the aesthetic and technological might of the ancient. 4. Oldest Buddhist temple. Archaeologist Luca Maria and his team discovered a Buddhist temple in the Gandhara city of Barakot that dates back to at least the late 2nd century BC. As a result, it is the oldest Buddhist temple in the area and was built at the time that Barakot is known to have been a center of Buddhist teaching and an important pilgrimage site. Olivieri was surprised to see Buddhist temples in the city so soon. Before the turn of the 1st century AD, Olivieri found no trace of Buddhist presence in Barakot, a 10-foot tall apsidal building that served as the foundation for a circular shrine has been uncovered thus far. An iconic cone-shaped Buddhist stupa can be found inside the structure. The building's shape, well known from Buddhist constructions in India at this period, but highly uncommon for Gandhara, astonished Oliveri's team. Researchers have also found Buddhist sculptures and inscriptions. The Persians' Achaemenid Empire, Alexander the Great's Macedonian Empire, the Mauryan Empire of northern India, and the Indo-Greeks of Bactria, or Central Asia, were all in power at the time. The newly discovered temple was constructed, making Gandhara not only a religious center, but also the nexus of several significant imperial expansions. 3. The Ishmael Papyrus. In September 2022, Professor Shmuel Ahituv and the IAA unearthed the Ishmael Papyrus, a Dead Sea Scroll fragment. The piece belonged to an unnamed American who lived in Montana. His mother gave him the artifact as a present. According to carbon dating on the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, this papyrus is one of 3 discovered dating to the First Temple period. Ishmael is mentioned in 4 lines of the papyrus, along with the phrases, "Don't send," "Cry for him," and "Of no use." This find may be connected to the bulla with the inscription, belonging to Ishmael, son of the king. A guy named Ishmael was present when Jerusalem fell, according to Jeremiah 40. Gedaliah, Babylon's first governor of Judah, was overthrown by this guy. This Ishmael was of the seed royal, according to Jeremiah 40, and he sought to capture and drive a party of Jewish prisoners into Ammon for this same eastern area. The papyrus fragment is probably talking about the same person. 2. The mushroom sword. In the Czech Republic, a man was looking for mushrooms when he came across something unusual. He uncovered an ancient sword and a bronze axe while digging. The mushroom hunter initially saw a metal protrusion from the ground. After some kicking, it was discovered to be a sword. He then went down on his hands and knees and started to dig, swiftly uncovering a bronze axe. He then informed local archaeologists of his discovery, who subsequently decided to do a full excavation and discovered that chance hunters didn't abandon them. But what's particularly mysterious about this find is that the ancient sword is meticulously carved with etched circles and other bizarre patterns dating back over 3,000 years. Another mystery is why the weapons were found so far away from any civilization. Anyone can guess what they were up to there. All that is known about the artifacts at this time is that they date back to the Bronze Age and may have originated in the area that is now Sweden. The bronze axe could have been more impressive and might have been made nearby. The sword, however, was far too detailed to have been forged in that area. The researchers have not yet discovered any bones in the vicinity, but this suggests that it may have been a stray warrior passing through the forest when the calamity occurred. 1. Women's power in ancient Spain. Contrary to popular belief, women may have been influential members of society who held top positions alongside men in the ancient world. It was discovered during the 2014 grave excavation in Spain. The remains of a woman and some silver jewelry were discovered at the burial at La Amaloya in Spain. This discovery is significant because it shows that a male was buried next to the widow, although he had no lavish belongings. A silver diadem, a necklace, and 2 bracelets were discovered in the woman's possession. Scholars believe the artifact perched atop the woman's head was a powerful sign. This leads to the conclusion that she must have been a powerful character in the El Agar society between 2200 and 1550 BC. I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys are truly amazing, and I appreciate every last one of you watching. I mean that, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Do subscribe to the channel, like the video, share your thoughts and questions in the comments section, and as always, I will see you again very soon.